author of this science shitpost. Hope you're having a great day. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Marc Dingman. I am an associate teaching professor at Penn State University, where I teach classes in the health sciences and neuroscience. And I have a YouTube channel called 2-Minute Neuroscience, which is where this image came from.
What is it that followers of science shitpost should take from this shitpost?
So I was making one of my videos for my 2-Minute Neuroscience series on autism. And I was trying to find ways to portray certain aspects of atypical neural development in autism. And so I used some images I had already created and some arrows to indicate part of the atypical development that we see. This was never supposed to be a scientifically accurate diagram. What I do with my 2-Minute Neuroscience videos is I write a script and then I try to find something to put on the screen to sort of give something for people to look at while I'm explaining this research behind the topic I'm talking about. And so with the autism video, I was trying to cover two different things with that image. One is that brain growth in autism tends to be accelerated between the ages of about 6 months to 2 years. And so the brain grows more rapidly. And so certain parts of the brain, like the surface of the cortex, expand more than typical. The brain growth tends to slow down and then it sort of levels out and normalizes with other individuals in the population. But that's one thing I was trying to portray, is that I had two images of a brain that I had drawn, and I made one a little bit larger to represent an autistic brain. The other thing, which was what I think turned this really into a shitpost, was that I was trying to show that there's atypical connectivity in the autistic brain during neural development. And so what research suggests is that overall there's fewer connections between neurons across the brain, but there are certain parts of the brain where there's an excessive number of connections. So there's hyperconnectivity. And so I was trying to think of a way to demonstrate that without having to draw a really complicated image. And so the animation software I was using, I gave me the option of adding arrows, and I thought, okay, this is, it was partially just laziness on my part. I thought, okay, I just add some of these arrows in, and that will demonstrate that there's connectivity. So I used green arrows to form the normal connections or the typical connections, and red arrows to represent the atypical connections. So again, I wasn't trying to make something scientifically accurate, but just to give people something, a sense of what I was talking about in the script. And so that's the science underlying it, is that the autistic brain involves accelerated brain growth early on, and then these atypical connections that are made early on too.
Hope you're still having a great day. Where can people learn more?
I have a series on YouTube called 2-Minute Neuroscience, and in each of those videos, I take something that's usually a pretty complex topic in neuroscience and try to explain it in 2 minutes. I'm never completely successful, but it usually gives people just an introduction to the topic. So that's a good place to go. Neuroscientifically Challenged on YouTube. I also have a website, neurochallenge.com, that explains a lot of different neuroscience topics. And I have a book called Your Brain Explained that is written for people without a science background that explains topics in neuroscience.